Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshu Shrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakaro Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Mahopanisad, first chapter. We have studied 4, 5, 5th and 6th chapter, which contain the teaching of Rubu to Nidaga. That completed the all teaching either received by Rubu or taught by Rubu about the Sarupa, true nature of oneself and the Jagat. True nature of oneself, Jiva, Jagat, the world, creation, and Ishvara. So now here is, the 2 chapters are there which are not taught by Rubu, different one there. First one is directly Upanishads, whereas second chapter is Shuka Janaka Samvada. Read Athato. First one. Athato Mahopanishadam Vyakhyāsyāma. See, Jay's mic is not working or put off. Athato.
Ataha Mahopanishadam Vyakhyāsyāmaha.
Ataha Mahopanishadam Vyakhyāsyāmaha. This gives what is called who is the adhikari to study Upanishads. Adhikari means who? Eligible person to study Upanishads. This is very important because it is not only in Vedanta, in any branch of, in the study of any branch of knowledge. To study any branch of knowledge, you need a starting point, a stepping stone. Suppose you have to study in the high school, you have to finish the primary school. You have to go to the college, you have to complete the secondary school. Like that, who is the eligible person to take to the study of Vedanta, so that study means here vichara, atma vichara, so that he can gain the knowledge of oneself. It is not to disqualify anyone, but only to point out that if these qualifications are not there, you are not going to get much benefited by this study. Because of being Vedas, certainly Punya will be there. But in terms of moksha, you'll be still high and dry. That's why one should take precaution that by industrious efforts, one gains the required eligibility qualifications. Now, Atha, like in Athato Brahma Jinyasa, thereafter, Thereafter means what? Sadhana chatushtya sampatyanantaram. After having acquired the fourfold qualification, Viveka, Vairagya, Shabadamadi Shakta Sampatti, Mukshutva. So having got this, means that gives a disposition by which your mind becomes antarmukha, which is now bahirmukha, extrovert. It becomes introvert, and in that shuddha, in that nilvikalpa mind, your swarupa gets displayed in its true nature. That only can be atmajnana. That only can be moksha. If that disposition is not there, the mind is full of visheshas, attributes of superimposed jagat, drishya jagat, which appear as though the intrinsic feature of Atma, which is not the case. That is why Upanishads, either in the beginning or in the middle or at the end or at more places, repeatedly highlight the necessity to have a mind which has got sadhana chatushta sampatti. Ataha. Ataha means therefore. Therefore means because of what comes there. Because all the means known to us in terms of what is called do this and accomplish this, what is termed as sadhana sadhya. So sadhana sadhya. So do this and accomplish this. The sadhana sadhya. Those means are not applicable here, or those means cannot give the knowledge of Atma, because karma is meant for purification of the mind. Chittasya shuddhaye karma natu vastu vastupalabdhaye. Vivek Chudamani. Karma is meant for purification of the mind, but not to gain the Atma. Natu vastu vastu siddhir vicharena. Vastu siddhi means gaining the knowledge of Atma, accomplish the Atma is vicharena, by Atma vichara. Now kinchit karma kotivi. Even crores of karmas you may do, which are in the realm of avidya only, therefore unable to destroy avidya, you cannot gain jnana, you cannot gain moksha. This is the fact. So therefore, no other means of karma, upasana, etc. can give you atma jnana. So then, and therefore you cannot gain moksha by them at all. So therefore, what is there? Upanishadam vyakhyāsyāma. We are now unfolding the Upanishad, which contains Atma and Atma Vichara. Different methods are followed as what is called Adhyaropa, Pavada, etc. Followed. So that one, Vyakhyāsyāma. Visheshena Akhyāsyāma. Visheshena Akhyāsyāma means what? We are going to explain it elaborately. So now, what is the truth? Narayana, the word for Brahman used here is Narayana. This is not Vaikuntavasi Narayana. So Narayana means Brahmadattva, is Advitiya, non-dual in nature. And the same principle appears as Ishvara Tattva. What is the difference between the here called Narayana, the Brahma? It is Nirguna. Ishvara is Saguna. But this Ishvara is only an appearance of the Nirguna Brahma. It is not that Brahma is separate and Ishvara is separate. No. The Brahma itself appears as the Ishvara. So that is what Brahma Tattva, called Narayana here, is non-dual in nature, and that same is the Ishvara Tattva, appears as Ishvara Tattva. Read.
Tad ahuhu.
Tad ahu. Tad ahu, that means, who are they? Tad in the sense, that is, that means that. That means what? Which we are going to unfold now. As is the Rishi of the Upanishad is telling us. The one that is going, we are going to unfold now. Same thing, look, it is not something told by us. Because pramana is very important. If we tell something which is the product of our intellect, it is paurusheya. It is the product of human intellect. And human intellect is bound to commit mistakes. No, it is what? The knowledge that has come from parampara. The teacher taught lineage, which has been verified at each and every link as such, which has come from Ishvara, which has come from Shruti Pramana only. From that standpoint, Tad, which we are going to unfold now, says, Ahuhu. They describe, they tell, who are they? Veda Vicharaka or Brahmavadina, those who study and inquire the Vedas, especially Upanishads. And those Brahmavadina, those who have got the knowledge and try to share with others. They say, the pramana. It is not my kapola kalpita. So they have. What they say, continue.
Ekaha havai Narayanaha asit.
Ekaha vai Narayana asit. Ha, why? Well known in the Shastras. Not only well known in the Shastras, it is confirmed by the Vidvad Anubhava. The Jnanis have confirmed that, yes, it is so. What is told in the Upanishad is correct. And also, it is given to reasoning, yukti. That's prasiddhi. Shastra prasiddhi, Vidvad Anubhava prasiddhi is told by that. Means this is not something told by from somebody's mind. No. See, Narayana as Ekaha asit. Narayana alone was there. See, these words, if not properly analyzed, what we call as Mimamsa. Mimamsa, Pujita Vichara. If not properly analyzed, people not knowing what it is, draw wrong conclusions. Now see, Ekaha Narayana. Only Narayana. Narayana, and then Narayana alone is the ultimate truth. Now, if this word Narayana is not properly understood, see what do you say? Vaikunthavasi Narayana alone is the God principle. Not Kailasadipati Shiva, not Ganesha, not Durga. Why Narayana? There's somebody said, some cult, Krishna alone is the God. If such words are there, me has said. So this needs Mimamsa. That is why it is said. Shastrajnyopi swatantrena brahmanveshanam na kuriya. Even if the person is highly qualified in terms of scholarity and studies, etc., one should not enter into the inquiry of Brahma on one's own independently, because that needs to be analyzed and ascertained by proper mimamsa. The import of the teaching needs to be ascertained. So now here, this Narayana is not Vaikuntadipati Vishnu. Then what? Narayana is like this. The one whose ayana, abode, or we can say abode means dwelling place, or dhama or swarupa is what? Naram. So what is the Ekaha means only one without there's no second essence. Naram. Naram means the avidya and avidya karya. In the sense, the embodiments. The one whose abode, place of dwelling is embodiments of all beings. Or Naram also means bhutas, panchamahabhutas. Bodies are made of panchamahabhutas. One who abides in the panchamahabhutas means what? It shows that is distinct from panchamahabhutas. Is distinct from the bodies. What it can be. Vaikuntadipati Narayana is there. We should find him in everywhere. That is fine picture, they say. For example, in a cow, so many deities are there, they give small pictures of that. That is fine as far as the picture is concerned. No. But what is that entity which is in all, alike, without distinction? Chaitanya Atma, Chit Tattva, the Jnapti Tattva, the Anubhava Tattva, pure consciousness principle. That is Narayana. That alone is. So therefore, Narayana Asit. Asit means was there in the sense, abides. Narayana, the Chaitanya Tattva alone abides in all, and therefore that alone is there. Then what about the bodies and the Jagat, etc.? It is only an appearance, including the Vaikuntadipati Narayana's body. Now, Ekaha Asit. Only Narayana was there. What you mean by only means nothing else, no one else was there. That is now commented. Continue.
Na Brahma, na Ishanaha, na Apaha, na Agnishomau, na Ime Dyava Pruthivi, na Nakshatrani, na Suryaha, na Chandramaha.
None of these, which we generally take as a Jagat, was there. Na Brahma means distinct from Narayana. Brahmaji, one of the Trinity, was not there. No Ishanaha. Ishana is Mahadevaha. Kailasadipati, Shankara, Shiva. No Apaha. Water was not there. No Agni, fire was not there. Means Panchamahavadhas were not there. Again, other Dhyava Prathivi is coming there. Agni Shoma, fire principle was not there. Soma, Chandra was not there. Neme Dhyava Prathivi. These earth and heavens were not there. No Nakshatrani, stars were not there. No Surya, sun was not there. No Chandrama, Chandra, moon was not there. So the Agni Shoma, Soma we can take as a separately Soma, a deity can be taken. Soma. Chandrama means none of the entities which according to us constitute the Jagat, Drishya Jagat was there. Then what happened? Continue.
Saha ekaki na ramate.
Saha says that Nirvishesha Brahma, you have to take now, he is now on the verge of creation. He is no more Nirguna Brahma, it is now Ishvara. The Ishvara, so Ekaki, that Brahma being conditioned by Avidya Maya. Avidya Maya, that word, he is now on the, has the status of what? Ishvara. That Ishvara, Saha, means that Narayana, who was Nirguna Brahma, now who is appearing as the Saguna Brahma, Ishvara, say, Naramate, was not delighted, was not pleased, or we can say what? We say no, was bored at it, as it were. This should be understood properly. See, Ishvara, there is no occasion for Ishvara not to be delightful. At no time he can be without delight. Why? Paramanda Swarupa. In fact, somewhere recently, I read a clipping of Ramana Maharshi, very beautiful. Question was, what is happiness? You know, what is the answer? Come on. Can you answer? What is happiness? You have to scratch your head. Long. That happiness is you. Think of it. Can you ever believe this statement? It's the truth. What you are is that happiness. There is no other happiness than what you are in reality. And the same happiness you think you are what? You are getting from the sense object. That is your mistake, sir. That is not happiness. It is a bit of that only. The reflected portion as it were, sir. Happiness is you. So like that here. Ishvara is not Ajnani. You and me, Ajnanis, can say, oh, I don't know what that means, therefore I think happiness is gained from the Vishayas. We may think. But Ishvara is not Ajnani. He knows Swarupa. Always establish the Swarupa. It's not Parama Swarupa. Then how he was not delighted? How as if he got bored? How was he restless? Being not content with his Paramananda Swarupa. It is not possible. When Paramananda is there and you are not contented, impossible. No, not that way. This should be understood properly. He is Ishvara. As a Ishvara, he is Karma Phala Data. He has to provide to the jivas the bhoga bhumis, the field of experience, including the bhogya vishayas, for which a creation is necessary. See, suppose you are sitting for meditation. Suppose, okay, you are sitting for meditation. Suddenly you remember a very, very, very urgent task to be done. How do you feel? You can't get up from the meditation because you have got a rule, as it were, discipline, as it were. At the same time, mind is not available. Mind is disturbed. Like that. So that is what is called as he was not delighted. That urgency of creating the Jagat was throwing him out of his Paramananda Swarupa, as it were. So Naramate. So because that urge of creation is what? Making him take to the task of creation. Now, actual creation takes place. About creation, we have seen many times. The Tatparya of Shruti Upanishad is not in describing creation. Creation is described as the only means to know our Swarup. So, many theories of creations are given to suit to the student who is in front of the teacher. They cannot be, and they should not be taken very seriously, literally, in the order they are given, which is not safe. So therefore, here is a model as per this Upanishad, how the creation took place. Ishvara is now on the verge of creation. Just as a seed on the verge of sprouting, with these that got mixed with the soil and the water. It swells like that. This is the state of what? State of what? Nirguna Brahma, which is now appearing as Ishvara, which is the verge of creation. First it thinks. There are different places, different phrases are used. Saikshata, Sokamayata, Bahusyam Prajayeti. It desired, it observed. Bahusyam, let me become many. Prajayaya, myself become the progeny. It appears as though the Ishvara has thought like that. And it is said so. Ikshata, observed, considered. But it is not actual consideration because Panchamahabhutas, Antakarna are yet to be born. How can you think as that volition is in the Sankshepa Sharavaketa told, Ikshana, desire, etc. are the first vikara of Maya Shakti, wherein Ishvara is on the verge of creation. It is described as thought or desire, like that. So here it is said as dhyana, meditation. Meditation in terms of recollecting the past creation. With a replica, same thing, ditto. So that is what is called as dhyana. So, and dhyana means what? Here in terms of that's called as, it is compared as, it is described as yajna stoma, a multitude of, a group of yajnas. What type of yajnas? Exalted yajnas. So that is what the, so he thought. Read.
Tasya dhyanantasthasya yajnastomam uchyate.
Tasya. Vidatasya Narayanasya. Who Parabrahma, who as Ishvara is now on the verge of creation. Dhyanantasthasya is in dhyana, means he is absorbed in dhyana. Dhyana in terms of what? Creation. Bringing to recollection the past creation. Other thing. Ishvara is Sarvajna Sarvashaktiman. Being Sarvashaktiman, he need not have Antakarana also. Everything is possible for him. There's nothing impossible for Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman. Srishti, Siddhi, Laya, everything is what? Just means what? Without effort, spontaneously emerge from him. That also it can be taken. That's it. Yajnastomam uchyate. Uchyate, described, not simply said, described. Yajnastomam, because different types of creations are involved. Different facets of creation involved. Different aspects of creation involved. So therefore, stoma, a group collection of yajna. Because it is a great yajna means, see, yajna vai Vishnu also said. Karma done in the dedication to Ishvara is also called yajna. Why? Yajna is Vishnu, Narayana, Paramatma Tattva. So therefore here is something that is being done by Ishvara itself is what? Ishvara Swarupa only. So yajna is called a sacred, great holy thing that is being now described. Continue.
Tasmin purushaha chaturdashaha jayante.
Read complete.
Eka kanya dashendriyani manaha ekadasham tejaha dvadashaha ahankaraha trayodashakaha pranaha chaturdashaha atma panchadashi buddhihi bhutani panchatanmatrani panchamahabhutani saha ekaha panchavinshatihi purushaha.
Tasmin, in the sense, tasmin is in that. Here it means through that yajna stoma. If you took to dhyana in terms of collections of yajnas, through that collection of yajnas, so what is that word born? Chaturdasha purushaha jayanti. Purushaha. entities, individuals. So, Chaturdasha. Here the Purusha stands for the Daksha Prajapati, etc. Prajapatis. He said Pancha Brahmana, 5 Brahmas, Brahmadi Sadashivanta, Dakshadi Nava Prajapatiya. The Puranas it is there. 5 types of Brahmas. And Dakshadi, what these Prajapatis, 9 of them. 9 plus 5, 40. Our Brahma is one. In Mahabharata, there's an episode. So, Dharmaraja was performing Rajasuya Yaga. At such time, all prominent stage sages, etc., are invited. All Vidwans, Veda Paragaha, etc., great sages are invited. So they are inviting. There was one sage who was in the middle of the sea, a small tree-like thing, under which he was meditating. It was a special variety. Great sage. So Krishna said, we should invite him. Not ordinary one. Great tapasvi. Went. How they went? Nowadays, you know that there are buses and trains which go in the water also. Arjuna's chariot was like that. Arjuna's chariot was running on the water also. On the ground, of course. Water also. Dharmaraja, Krishna, Arjuna went. And there he was. So he lost his dhyana. They waited there. He opened his eye. So they were delighted. Why? Krishna has come and Pandavas have come. Very much delighted. Happy. Of course, what for you have come? Told invitation. Okay, yes, when you are, I should go. Then Krishna said, Oh Mune, please tell your experience. What was the experience? Special about him was that. See, the Brahmaji of our Brahmanda got little arrogance. I am such a great one. Who is like me? I am the most superior one, etc. So this sage happened to go to Brahmaji for something. By talking. Suddenly a storm came. Suddenly a storm came. And in the storm, not only this, but this sage, Brahmaji also got blown off. He could not control and landed in other Brahmanda. Now see, this Brahmaji is such a great person. There he went there. Nobody is caring for him. Are? How come? So he inquired. Then we have got our Brahmaji. He was more powerful and more distinct than him. He went to him. He also didn't give much respect to this person because he was more powerful and dominant. He thought, ये क्या है? ये कुछ काम का नहीं. I am the superior. Again, this is all handiwork of Vishnu. Again, big storm came. And in that, sage, number 1 Brahmaji, number 2 Brahmaji got blown. And like that, it went to the fifth one, fifth Brahmanda. He was more spiritual than all this. So there was same thing happened. Again, what happened? Storm came. And they landed in the presence of Vishnu. So Vishnu said, "Oh, you are so great, etc." Everybody understood what great they are, etc. See, this too much of ahankara, thinking was too much is always bad. So Paramatma is there to teach a lesson. Like in Kenopanishad, Devatas were taught by that Yaksha, Paramatma was in the form of Yaksha. So that way. So Chaturdasha, 5 Brahmas, don't ask all this, etc. The Puranas are varieties are available. And 11, now 9 Prajapatis, Jayanti. And 1 Kanya, daughter in the sense, a female entity. And that is Prakriti. The blueprint of creation that is going to come. Further, Dashendriyani, 5 sense organs, Jnanendriyas, 5 organs of actions, Karmendriya. Manaha Ekadasham, with respect to 10 senses, the indispensable factor for them to operate, the mind as 11. Tejaha. Here Teja, Tikakara, takes as buddhi, intellect, Vijnanamaya kosha. Teja. That is Dvadasham, 12th one. Ahankara Trayodasham. The notion of I-ness in the body is what? The 13th one. Pranaha Chaturdasha. Prana, the 14th one. 14th entity. Atma Panchadasha. Here Atma is Ishvaraha. Ishvara Panchadasha. Buddhi Bhutani Panchatandra. Now here again Buddhi has come. Earlier Teja was taken Buddhi. Now Buddhi here is the Vidya and Avidya aspect in it. See, ignorance, where ignorance abides? In the Buddhi. Where knowledge abides? Buddhi. So therefore, Vidya or Avidya again is told here in Buddhi. Bhutani Panchatanmatra. 5 Tanmatras, nascent form of the Panchamahabhuta. Panchamahabhutani, again gross Panchamahabhutas, Sthula Mahabhutas. Saha Eka. And that one, with that one, Jiva. Panchavivshati Purusha. So this is the Purusha. Here we will take as either Virat or Hiranyagarbha, consisting of these 25 facets. Continue.
Tat Purusham Purushaha Niveshya Na Asya Pradhana Samvatsara Jayante.
So continue. Samvatsarad
Adhijayante. Atha Punaha.
Wait. Of course, there you are. This paragraph may be different. This paragraph ends here. Tat Purusham. That Purusha means Virat or Hiranyagarbham. Purushaha. This Purusha is Ishvaraha. Nivesha. Having fixed in the meditation for further creation. See, Ishvara is Udasina, indifferent. But for further creation, he is what now? Meditating, Nivesha. न अस्य प्रधान संवत्सराः जायन्ते. See, from this Virat endowed with 25 principles, with 25 tattvas. Pradhana samvatsara na jayante, no is there. No asya. Asya. From these, the main years, etc., are not born. Why? Samvatsarad adhijayante. The Adi Purusha in the form of Kala, Kala Rupa, Samvatsara. Year, etc., are born from the Purusha, who himself is what Kala Rupa, in the form of principle of time. This principle of time itself is the facet of who this Ishvara or Hiranyagarbha or Virat. From that, our practical years, etc., these are born. Practical in the sense, Vyavaharika are born. Again, the creation is not complete. Further things are to be created. They are now being enumerated. Continue. Atha. Read.
अथ पुनः एव नारायणः सः अन्यत कामः मनसा ध्यायत.
Further, thereafter. Again, Punayava. Saha Narayana, that Narayana who had created so far all this as a Ishvara. Narayana Nirguna Brahma as Ishvara has created all this so far and enumerated. Anyat Kamaha. Anyat Kamaha means being desirous of creating other things like Vedas and all, Vedangas and all those things. Manasa Dhyayat. Anyat Kamaha adds some. Being desirous of creating further creation. Dhyayata. It took to meditation. Continue.
तस्य ध्यानान्तस्थस्य ललाटात्यक्षः शूलपाणिः पुरुषः जायते.
Continue up to the end. Mahadeva, Mahadeva.
बिभ्राच्छ्रियं यशः सत्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं तपः वैराग्यं मनः ऐश्वर्यं सप्रणव व्याहृतयः ऋग् यजुः साम अथर्वाङ्गिरसः सर्वाणि छन्दांसि तानि अंगे समाश्रितानि. तस्माद् ईशानः महादेवः महादेवः.
Now take the big sentence. Take Anvaya. Tasya dhyanantastasya lalatat Shriyam, Bibrat Shriyam is that. Shriyam, Yashaha, Satyam, Brahmacharyam, Tapaha, Vairagyam, Manaha, Aishwaryam, Bibrat. Come to Bibrat before Shriyam. Bibrat, add Yasya. Add Yasya. Yasya Ange. Tanyange is there before Samashritani. Yasya Ange. Go to Sapranavaha, after Aishwaryam. Sapranavaha Vyahृतयः ऋक् Yajus Sama Atharvangirasah Tani Tanyange Tani Sarvani Chandansi Samashritani. After Samashritani, add Bhavanti Saha Ayam. Samashritani Bhavanti Saha Ayam. Saha Ayam. Come to in the beginning, second line. Trakshaha Shulapani Purushaha Jayate. Tasmad at end. Ishanaha add Narayanaha. Mahadevaha. Further, Mahadevaha add Eva Narayanaha. Mahadevaha Eva Narayanaha. Says Tasya Dhyanantastasya Lalata. From the forehead, the Narayana is the form of Ishvara. The Lalata is from forehead, who is absorbed in the dhyana. To give short one, Trakshaha Shulapani Purushaha Jayate. With one, Traksha, the three-eyed one. Who is that? Shulapani, who is holding a Shula, spear in the hand. Who is in Shiva, Mahadeva, Kailasadipati Mahadeva. Jayate. But who is he? All this description. So therefore the Lata, one who is endowed with all this, Shriyam, wealth, Yashaha, fame and success, Satyam, truth, Brahmacharya, celibacy, Tapas, ascetic practice, Vairagya, in all absolute measure, Vairagya. Okay. Manaha, a controlled mind, regulated mind, disciplined mind. Aishwaryam, Ishara Shilatvam, that overlordship, mastery over everything. Okay. Ange, in the body of this Traksha, Shulapani Mahadeva, all these are born. Ange. Again, the Aishwaryam. Then in his body, the body of Traksha, Shulapani, Mahadeva, Sapranaha, Pranavaha, Vyahritaya. Vyahritis in the Vedas are spatial utterances which have got the capacity, potential to enrich the potentiality of the mantra, etc. Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Maha. One type of Vyahritis. So Vyahritis. Sapranavaha. Along with the Omkara, these Vyahritis. Again, see, don't take in order the order. The order may not be the actual they have come. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvada Veda, Atharvangirasa, one, Atharvana Veda. All these. Tani, all those. Sarvani, all those. Again, Chandansi, prosody. Samashritani bhavanti. All are reposing in the body of Mahadeva. He is the embodiment of all this. Sahayam, that Narayana who has now manifested as what? Mahadeva. Sahayam. Trakshaha. Three-eyed Shiva. Shulapanihi. Only got to have a Shula. Spear in the hand. Purushaha Jayate. Means from Narayana, Mahadeva is born. Therefore, it says, don't commit the blunder of distinguishing between Narayana and Mahadeva. Tasma, from Narayana Mahadeva is born, therefore Tasma, Ishanaha Narayana. The Nirguna Brahma, who in the form of Ishvara, that Narayana, as Ishvara, Mahadeva, he himself is Mahadeva. And that Mahadeva himself is Narayana. What Narayana? Means he is so omnipotent. He can do all these things. So therefore what? Anayoho na vedaha vidyate. Even if you take Vishnu, Vaikuntavadi Vishnu and Kailasatipati Shiva, among these what? Narayana is Vaikuntavadi Vishnu, yes, Nirguna Brahma. Kailasatipati Vishnu is the same thing. There is no Bheda, there is no distinction. There is one Vedic statement which says, Shivaya Vishnu Rupaya Shiva Rupaya Vishnave. To Shiva with Vishnu Rupa and Vishnu is Shiva Rupa. Namaskara. Means both are one and the same. See, if you take Vishnu Purana, you'll find Shiva worshipping Vishnu. If you take Shiva Purana, you'll find Vishnu worshipping Shiva. No problem for them. Problem for us only. This perennial quarrel between Vaishnavayites and Shaivites. Vertical sign or horizontal sign. So that is not correct. Hari-hara mein bhed na mano. Between Hari and Hara don't have distinction because both are one and the same Nirguna Parabrahma Tattva. Further creation in terms of the Brahma with the form, the faces, etc. will be seen.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं शोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।